What is up, you gorgeous, fabulous creatures, and welcome to another week of the Losing It podcast. You're here with Kylie Pax, your fabulous host. And this week we are talking a little bit about breaking that damn vicious cycle of weight regain, sister. If anything crushes your soul, it's weight regain. I don't know anything more traumatic that like women go through. I mean, you could tell me childbirth is hard. I've been through the divorce. I've been through losing everything. I don't think any of it compares to weight regain, quite frankly. And I am not even shitting you. Weight regain will crush your soul. Any little emblems of little happiness that you had in your heart, they die. They just fizzle out and die when you start regaining weight that you have worked so damn hard to lose. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about this week is because it's something that we all face. I mean, there's not a sister that's listening to this today that hasn't faced the dreaded weight regain after working so hard. I mean, you have just about dieted until your eyeballs bled. And then there you are finding yourself hopping on the scale and the numbers are fucking increasing. You just want to shrivel up and die. I would run out of the bathroom in the morning, like after I'd weighed myself. And if the numbers had gone up, I was immediately looking for a sharp object. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I cannot live this way. And so I want to tell you today, if you're dissatisfied with your life and your weight at the moment, it's not because you don't have what you want. It's because you're not being the woman it would take to get it. Now, I'm going to give you a few little tips today about how to deal with first of all, how to deal with weight regain, but secondly, how the fuck to avoid that shit to start with. Because if deep down you don't really, truly believe that you either deserve to lose the weight to start with, or that you actually are capable of losing the weight, or hold on, if you do lose the weight, you're not entirely sure that you can even keep it off, then you're always going to return to the habits and the actions that mirror who you truly think that you are. I say this all the time. I'm never going to stop saying it. One day Beyonce will start paying me royalties for promoting her, but you are not going to get up tomorrow and start acting like Beyonce because you don't think that you're Beyonce, but you will get up tomorrow and start acting like your lazy ass self, because that's who you think and truly believe that you are. You believe that you are the woman who cannot control herself around biscuits and cakes and cookies and ice cream and chippies, right? You believe that you are the woman that cannot get through the night without several glasses of wine and, a few rows of chocolate to go with it. Like, that's just who you think that you are. And if that's who you think that you are, then don't expect to act any differently. If there's a corner of your subconscious that has associated weight loss, which, I mean, let's be real, we all think weight loss, fucking fabulous, fantastic. Anytime I'm talking to private clients, I'm like, so what do you think is going to happen when you lose weight? And they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be free. My life is going to be like a Disney movie. But we think that consciously. But your subconscious now has gone through 20, 30, 40, 50 plus, in my case, years of life. It has a lot of experience, and I've got a lot of subconscious beliefs about my experiences that have probably linked weight loss to some kind of pain. Like, well, losing weight is just going to take too fucking long. Like, first of all, this is one of the number one things I hear from people, especially if you've got a larger amount of weight to lose. So I'm going to say 20 plus kilos. It's going to take too long, Kylie. Oh my God, it's just going to take too long. If you think that, or you think maybe, look, I'm probably just going to gain it back anyway. Or you think, well, the last time I lost weight, I had like guys and gross people sending me dick pics in my DM, which is an example I often use as well. I mean, ew, just ew. It's going to give you the ick. Nobody wants that. Maybe you want it. That's fine if you want that. But some of us don't want that. So I'm going to tell you, if you've linked your potential weight loss with something ew and ick on the other side, of course you're going to be coming up against some resistance. It only makes sense. Now, there are 3 ways that this kind of self-sabotage can play out in your life, and it will end up showing up as weight regain. So these are the 3 ways. So either that it happens this way every single time. So just tell me which area you slot yourself into, and it might even be one or all 3 of these areas. but either you never actually allow yourself to lose the weight, as in you just fuck around with it. You lose 1 kilo and you gain back 2, or you lose 2 kilos and you're gaining back 3. That's the first way that we screw ourselves over with the self-sabotage. The second way is you do allow yourself to lose the weight, but then you start telling yourself stupid ass stories like, okay, well, this is it. Woohoo, look at me. I've arrived. You think that's it. You've hit your goal weight. Everything is fabulous. So now you think you've got some wiggle room and you can eat a little more. And then you eat a little more and a little more until not only have you gained back like the 20, 30 kilos that you lost, but those kilos invited all their mates. Now they're all having a corroboree on your ass. Okay, that's the second way. The third way that we self-sabotage ourselves and end up with the weight regain, and honestly, this one I always say is the most tragic of all, because I know all of them from personal experience, but this one was the most painful for me. It's the saddest ass one, where you do allow yourself to lose the weight. You work your ass off, literally. You do allow yourself to lose the weight. But now you are so scared of gaining it back that you cannot even enjoy what you've worked so hard to achieve. You either have to like weigh yourself every single day, or you're just flat out terrified of food. That's how it was for me. At the bathroom scale, I was so scared. And then you can't even go out with like friends and your besties and go to family occasions or work functions or anything. I would just refuse to go because I was so scared of gaining weight, because obviously there's food at those sorts of things. So I just wouldn't go. I was really isolated, and then you don't even allow yourself to enjoy what you have achieved. And I lived in that place for at least 18 months after I finished up my last hardcore diet, which most of you know about. If you've listened to any of my episodes, you'll know that there was a period where I didn't eat at all, anything for 40 days, because I had this wild idea in my head that like, Jesus was in the desert for 40 days. So this is some kind of magical number and I will have a complete, like just perfect nexus to God. If I can just not eat for 40 days, then that will solve all my life issues. I thought not only will I solve my weight issues, but I will solve all my medical issues. My skin will be fucking glowing like a glowworm. People will need sunglasses to look at me when I'm walking down the street. That is honest to God what I expected was going to happen. But what did happen is I lost any amount of muscle mass that was on my body. I looked like a stick insect, not like some sexy little waif, like I don't even know who the examples are in my head. Used to be, I cannot even think of that girl's name. I can see her in my head. But like one of the hardcore supermodels from the 80s. She was from the UK, I think, and she was like really tiny and she bought in the sort of waif era. But no, it wasn't even cutesy. It wasn't demure. It was not at all. It wasn't mindful. It wasn't fucking demure. It was none of those things. It was sick looking. I looked hideous and I was so scared of food and of gaining the weight back that I would literally cry myself to sleep at night. And why? Why was I doing all of this? Because I was falling back into my old patterns. I had lost weight. Fantastic. Like, yay for me, girl. But I didn't change my mindset. I didn't work on who I believed that I was. So I was still me, scared and afraid of food, just in a smaller body. You are always going to act in accordance with who you believe that you are. So deep down, I still had this belief that I was like an out of control freak around food. And I truly believed that it was only a matter of time before I was going to gain the weight back. So of course I did. I did end up gaining it back. Now, don't stress, honey, because I'm going to give you the little magic key that I use. And I use this all the time. This is not a one and done. Honey, this is not a one and done. You've got to do this multiple times a year. All right. Don't stress. You don't have to do it multiple times a day, but you might have to do it multiple times a month to start with while you are upgrading your self-concept, because this is always going to be an issue of self-identity. It's an issue of who do you believe that you are and okay, so that's good. That's a great question. Who do you believe that you are? Well, I'm this person, I'm strong, and this is my name, and I'm strong and I'm savvy and I'm sexy and I'm switched on and I'm all these great. That's fan-fucking-tastic. I'm glad for you. It's very happy to think about the things that you think you are. But who do you believe that you are not? Well, I think I'm not a person that can fully stick to things in my life. And I think I'm not a person who can like really commit long term and see things all the way through. And I want to know that shit, the shit that's deeper underneath, because once you've got an idea of what those beliefs are, then you can sit back and ask yourself, does it even make sense for me to hold on to these beliefs anymore? Some of them might be fantastic. Like if I've got this belief that I'm smart, sexy, savvy, and switched on, good. I want to hold on to that. That is advantageous for me to hold on to that in my life. It's going to help me get places. But if I've simultaneously got a belief of, but actually, I also think I'm not smart, and because my parents or something used to tell me, well, you're not academic, you're really more of a, I don't know, artistic girl, and you just don't have the smarts to do this. So deep down, I've got this belief that I'm really not smart. I'm not smart enough to get places, and I don't have the capability to stick with things. And I've got a lifetime of evidence to show that I really never see things through. So you've got to ask yourself, does it make sense logistically for me to hold on to this belief? I don't care how much evidence you've got to back it up right now. If it doesn't make sense for you to hold on to it because it's not going to help you and propel you forward, then you're allowed to drop it. So that's the first question. Does it make sense for me to hold on to this? And secondly, darling, is it in alignment with who you want to be? Because if I've got a vision of myself in my head that I know I'm capable of achieving, if I would just shimmy my booty into gear, right? I know that there's certain things I am able to achieve. Am I able to achieve, to become a brain surgeon, like if I really apply myself? No, I have to be very truthful with myself. No, I'm not. I'm not that smart. I mean, not only do I not have the desire to do it, but I'm not that smart, which would totally make sense. That's why I don't have the desire to do it, because it's not something I'm capable of. If God puts the desire in your heart to achieve something, whether that be, like I say, educationally or academically, practically, or just even that envisioning in your head, this is the version of myself that I want to be. If you've got that vision in your heart, you are capable of achieving it. I always say God does not put a vision in your heart of something that you truly desire and know is possible for you, and then sit back and go, and rub his hands together, laughing his ass off because you have no possibility of ever getting there. That's not a thing. So ask yourself, does it make sense for me to hold on to this belief? Is it in alignment with who I want to be? And you better be very fucking clear on who it is that you actually want to be. So check the boxes. I can ask, okay, if I really truly thought that I was capable of reaching my goal weight and I had a really good relationship with food and my body and myself, and taking care of myself was just a natural part of my day, and I always made food choices that served me, doesn't mean you eat quote unquote perfectly. Like there's nothing wrong with eating chocolate. Chocolate is eaten for pleasure. Nobody's eating chocolate because they're hungry. I don't get like all the stomach growls and sit down to a block of chocolate. It's not a thing, right? I want to live a life where chocolate is included in my daily dietary choices because I want to be the woman that has such a stable relationship with herself and food that she knows she can include the things that she enjoys in an amount that feels good to her. I don't even want to say in fucking moderation because I feel like that's such bullshit anymore. And what is moderation? Because what that looks like for you is going to be very fucking different to me. So it's always going to be in an amount that feels good for you. And once you know that version of you, then you got to ask yourself, honey, okay, now what would I believe? If I knew that this was possible for me, what would I believe about myself? What would I feel about myself? And what actions would I now take to back that up? So my darling, I feel like we've covered a lot today. Like normally you just get me yelling your ass off, like, you got to move your body and believe in yourself more, blah, blah, blah. But this week we have covered a lot more practical action steps that you can take because I know how painful weight regain is. And so if we're going to break that vicious cycle, it always starts with your self-concept. It starts with who you believe you are, not what you're doing. It's not about the food choices. They're secondary. They're only showing up because of who you think that you currently are. So honey, if you want to hear more stuff like this, if you want somebody to kick your little booty into action, then you need to come join us over inside of F The Scale. The link is in the show notes. Come on over KyliePax.com/F The Scale, because that, my love, is where you're going to find all of this, every single video that explains this plus more. I don't even know how many videos we've gotten in there by now, like 100. I don't know. We've got that plus the meditations for lazy girls, because I tell you, I am not interested in working my ass off to lose weight. I have done that too many times in my life. I am pretty fucking lazy by nature and I embrace it now. I'm not fighting against that shit anymore. I am. So I want the quickest, fastest, easiest way to weight loss city. And that's what you're going to find inside of F The Scale. It's all the tools and tricks that I use to finally get rid of 20 kilos and have that not haunting my ass ever again. Honeys, I'm sending you tremendous amounts of love. As always, if you love what you're hearing and you want to hear more, please hit the subscribe button, leave me a review. Come find me over on Insta, send me a message and let me know that you love it, share it, tag me, anything that you want to do. I'm sending you love. I will see you again next week. Until then, gorgeous ones, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to KyliePax.com and join me inside of F the Scale so that you can stop emotional eating and start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources inside my past podcasts that will help you lose the weight without the BS. I'll see you next week.